Have you ever heard a historical fact or stumbled onto some kind of weird old legend that just sticks with you? It's like something so specific and so strange that it sounds like the beginning of a movie or at least the plot of a great book. And see, that is where half of my book ideas come from. More than half, actually. You see, I don't start with plot outlines or character arcs. I always start with, but it has to be real historical trouble. And then I ask myself, okay, what if this wasn't just a story? What if it wasn't just a legend? What if it didn't happen exactly the way that the history books tell you it did? And so today in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I do that, how I take real world legends and lost artifacts, and then I turn them into the backbone of pulp style adventure novels. It's just a quick look into the chaotic fun of my writing process. Because in my world, lost treasure is never just treasure. It's a map, it's a key, it's a curse, or at the very least, it's a reason for very dangerous people to start killing other people and a reason to drag Cole Harper into it. So, like I said, I'm going to show you how I create the universe of each Cole Harper novel. So, let's start with something that sounds like it should be fiction, but it's not. The Copper Scroll. It's this thing that was found in a cave near Qumran in 1952. And it was found at the same time as the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. Now, most of those scrolls were religious text, ancient scriptures, commentary, that sort of thing. This one was different. It was one written on metal, not parchment. It was literally hammered into copper. And second, it didn't read like scripture at all. It read like a shopping list of hidden treasures. There were 64 different entries, each one listing these vast sums of gold and silver with precise locations, like in the cistern under the steps at the entrance of the tomb, dig down 4 cubits. And it was like someone's personal notebook for a scavenger hunt. But here's the thing, not one of these treasure caches have ever been found. Now, some historians, they think that it was all looted during the Roman destruction of Jerusalem. Others, they think it was a decoy. And there's some people that still believe it's legit, it just hasn't been found yet. But here's what I do with it. Let's say someone finds a new fragment of the Copper Scroll, a piece that was missing until right now. And right now being within the last 5 to 6 months of wherever Cole Harper is right now. Now, this piece, it points to some previously unknown location. Maybe it's in the mountains of Jordan, and maybe that's when it's found by the people who aren't quite the people who would quietly notify the proper authorities. Or maybe it's a discovery in the academic world and bad people learn about it. So now you've got mercenaries involved. You've got academics getting killed, and maybe a smuggler, Cole Harper, gets dragged into it because he's in the wrong place at the wrong time, working. Maybe he's finishing up a smuggling run for some rebels in the mountains. And then there's this other layer. What if the treasure wasn't just money? What if this ancient secret sect were hiding something more than gold? What if they buried something dangerous? What if it was something that the Romans feared enough to hunt for, and now it's not just treasure hunters on the trail. It's a race against someone who wants to use what's hidden at the end of the map as a means to rise to power or commit total destruction. That's how I work. One line of real history, one obscure little fact, one what if, and then I just run with it. Right. Now, let's jump back a few hundred years to 1511. The Flor de la Mar is this Portuguese carrack that's loaded to the brim with stolen treasure from the Sultanate of Malacca. Now, this thing was already falling apart. It was leaking, it was overloaded. The crew was kind of this haphazard, mismatched together group of guys that pretty much conscripted into service, and they didn't want to be there. Still, they tried to sail this ship back, and they were headed towards Goa, but spoiler alert, they didn't make it. A storm took the ship down somewhere off the coast of Sumatra. Now, this massive treasure was lost at sea. I mean, we're talking gold, jewels, ceremonial items, stuff that was looted from one of the richest trading hubs in all of Southeast Asia at the time. And to this day, no one has found it. Now, there's been countless searches, but the wreck is still missing. In reality, it was probably broken into, a few thousand pieces on the ocean floor, and it's buried under centuries of coral and silt. But how do I turn that into an adventure novel? That's easy. I start with a map. Let's say someone recovers a piece of strange pottery or some artifact from an underwater salvage expedition. It's not gold, it's not silver, but it's ornate and it's etched with symbols that no one can quite translate. And so they bring it to a museum. And then someone else breaks in to steal it. Why did they steal it? Because it's not just an artifact. It's part of a map. It's part of something bigger. It's part of something that did not belong on the Flor de la Mar in the first place. What if hidden among that stolen treasure was a relic of an older, forgotten civilization? Something the Sultan didn't understand the significance of. Something that, if it was pieced together with the rest of its component, would reveal the location of something dangerous. Maybe a temple, a tomb, or a vault. Now the story kicks off, but the map's incomplete. So the people chasing it aren't working together. They're working against each other. They want the treasure. Other people want what the treasure is rumored to unlock. And your protagonist, Cole Harper, he just wants to get paid doing a job that has nothing to do with any of this. He's just hanging out in a bar, trying to drown his sorrows, and he sees something go down, and despite himself, he has to poke his big nose in it, and now he's dragged in. Or maybe he's caught in the crossfire of these two factions, and he sees a woman cowering in the corner, and he rushes over, and he grabs her, and he drags her out of the bar, and he has no idea what he just got himself into. Maybe that woman is somehow connected to one of those groups, and the other one is now thinking that he's in on it too. Great. Now he made an enemy with the bad guys and he's being chased and he doesn't know why. He's reluctantly involved again. That's the kind of story that starts small and then it just spirals out of control. From a single stolen artifact to a race across the globe hunting a treasure. There's this forgotten shipwreck and it escalates into a battle over something the history books either got completely wrong or didn't even mention. That's how you take something like the Flor de la Mar and you twist it into the rumor of something ancient, something lost, something forgotten, and it blows up into a full-blown thriller. And the thing is, it's not just about treasure. It's about truth, or at least what people are willing to believe. See, I don't write these stories because I love action and history and weird facts. I mean, I do, But I write them because real history is full of cracks. It's got gaps, it's got whispers, and the whispers, that's where fiction hides. There's a reason that adventure stories work so well when they're built on a foundation of real history, because it makes everything feel tangible. It's when you ground this wild fictional story into something that actually happened or could have happened. You're not just entertaining, you're inviting these readers into that same what if daydream as you. And that's what I try to do with my books. And so, what else don't we know? Something like that could really be out there, right? What about the lost library of Alexander? I mean, countless tombs of knowledge that we'll never again have access to are lost forever. Or are they? What if, before the fire took the library down, what if all of the information was spirited away and hidden somewhere and it's just waiting to be unlocked? That's a plot to an adventure novel. You know, it gives you endless tools to play with, history does. There's cultures, there's conflicts, there's unexplained disappearances, maps that don't match up, there's relics with no known origin. They're just puzzle pieces, and fiction lets you put them together however you want. And I've said this before in a lot of my other videos. I don't outline any of my books. I don't plot anything in advance. I just find one of these pieces, some lost scroll or a sunken ship or a legend that everybody's heard of, and I let the story just go from there. Cole Harper, he doesn't need a plan. He just needs to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when the past decides that it's not done yet. So, if you're a writer and you're struggling to figure out a story, or a reader who just loves the kind of trouble that feels just one step removed from reality, dig deeper, man. Just watch the documentaries, read the old travel logs, and fall down these Wikipedia rabbit holes, because the truth is always stranger than fiction. And most of the time, it's more dangerous. And if you're into the kind of stories where the ancient legends collide with Cold War chaos or buried artifacts and a protagonist that would rather just get paid but end up having to save the day anyway, you might want to check out the Cole Harper series. The link is in the channel description, and there's another link in the description to this video. And the truth might be out there, but the trouble, that's what we get to write for ourselves. And this is how I've been able to create an incredible fan base with my Cole Harper series. People love asking, what if? You know, Blackbeard, he was killed off the coast of North Carolina. His ship was found, but its treasure never was. To this day, if you go to the Outer Banks in North Carolina, there's people with metal detectors. They're searching for Blackbeard's treasure. Why? Because they love the possibility. And that's all you have to do is you take something that is real, you take something that is tangible, and you add more possibilities to it. And you let your mind run wild and you write your own version of history with your protagonist. Right? Now, if you like this video and you want more like this, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.